welcome to our channel. We are Chaos and Cuteness, and in today's Sims 4 speed build video, we are building a base game modern starter home. And this was extreme torture edition. This was so difficult for me. If you've seen my other Sims 4 speed build videos, you know that I like to make very detailed builds. So going from that to not only a modern home, but also a starter home where I have a budget was extremely difficult. So if you want a good challenge in The Sims, you totally should build a starter home and try to make it look good. And today we're going to talk a little bit about modern architecture. Did you know modern architecture actually started in the mid to late 1800s? Most people might not know that. It didn't become really popular in the United States until the 1930s though. And then it kind of continued on through the 1970s. And during this time span, there was also a lot of different, I guess you'd say, subcategories of modern that kind of popped up. That's for another day. But modern, it is defined by clean, long lines. It incorporates structural elements into the building. It also has large roof overhangs, so that's what I had done in this build. It is very focused on asymmetry, which I also did with this little tiny build. This build maybe is not as wide and long as some of these massive modern pieces of architecture, but it still has that kind of long streamline appearance just because of elongating that roof. Also with modern architecture, there's the use of modern materials, but also natural materials too. So you see a lot of steel, concrete, glass, and specifically glass being these big windows, but you will still see incorporation of wood and stone and natural elements. Usually these are a little bit more in their rough form. That's just kind of the styling with this modern architecture. You will also find big open floor plans on the inside, and the color palettes are going to be sometimes white, but more of a neutral color, and you will see warm neutral colors in modern interiors. So basically, to sum it up, modern architecture is simple, sleek, and functional. It lacks embellishment on the exterior, and this kind of comes from a very famous architect, Louis Sullivan, and he's considered one of the pioneers of modern architecture. His phrase was, "Form follows function." And that basically became the motto for modern architecture. And many architects followed that motto. An interesting fact too, Louis Sullivan was a mentor to Frank Lloyd Wright. So many people know who Frank Lloyd Wright is. He was a very popular architect, not only in the US, but he's world renowned. And he had created many beautiful modern homes. You may hear the terms modern and contemporary being thrown around a lot nowadays when it comes to architecture and design. And contemporary architecture and style is more of the here and now and the styles that we're experiencing right now. And we see a lot of modern elements that are brought into these builds and into this architecture. Contemporary is a little bit more open to interpretation and allowing a lot of other styles, like I said, because it's the here and now, it can incorporate so many different styles. But because modern is such a popular style right now, in a lot of contemporary builds, you will see those modern aspects. We can always do a more contemporary house in the future. I think that would be fun. But I just very much wanted to stick to modern for this. And yes, with having that less is more approach, which is still kind of used in contemporary at times, I figured that would be perfect for a budget. And in the kitchen, I did have to add a little bit of clutter just because I feel like that's the most realistic. Yes, I could have done without it, but whose kitchen has counters where it's completely empty? I don't think I've ever been in a place that it's been completely empty unless it's on the market and someone's trying to sell it and then you just get rid of everything. Usually there's like a little bit of something, but I kept things pretty minimal and pretty clean. Since we finished our lesson in architecture, I figure we can talk about the build now. You may notice the window that I did in the bathroom was a bunch of little tiny windows put together, and I love this look. I really, really love it, and I think it was off camera that I had to change it. I realized I really needed to put trim on the exterior of this house. There was no way that there was not going to be trim. It just looked horrible. So then I had to go back and figure, what am I going to sacrifice to get my trim? I need my trim. And it had to be that custom window, unfortunately. I really liked how it looked. I replaced it with, you'll see it in the pictures at the end of the video. There are more, I think it's 3 in a row, like long, narrow windows, and then I doubled that up so it's still kind of a custom window, but it was way cheaper. I don't even know how much that window cost. Those tiny windows cost 30 simoleons a piece. So if you count them and you add it up, that was a good chunk of change. So I changed that out. I tried to edit this in a way where we're not jumping around like a ton, because I did. And I apologize for quick movement in this video. I'm normally not bouncing all over the place, but with a budget, I kind of had to and put my important pieces in. And then there's the things that I really wanted to put in that I had to like go and sell stuff. So yes, this was quite the challenge for me. I am ready to build something more cluttered and more detailed in my next video. But this is the beginning of our new series of building up Newcrest. We just finished our old series of building up Main Street in Newcrest, which I was very sad to end that. I had a blast doing that. You can always check out all those videos. But I figured it was time to start building up the rest of Newcrest, and that involves some more houses. It was time to throw a house build into there, right? My cheaty little way of making this place look decent from the exterior was, as you may have noticed, using the debug landscaping options for trees and bushes and all that good stuff. It's not like a ton of stuff is going on outside, but this wall that I created around the patio did not cost anything. So yeah, slightly cheaty, but there is no way this place would look good otherwise. If there's just complete lack of landscaping. And I know some people feel this way in the game, that if you actually buy a house somewhere, majority of the time there's landscaping, unless you buy a brand new build and there's been nothing done. I can't just plop this thing down on a lot without landscaping. But this was also my little bit of the part of the build for me that was a little bit more fun, since I got to use all these good little things. But today's video is a little bit shorter, so we are going to wrap things up. If you enjoy this video, don't forget to give us a like. Make sure you're subscribed and comment and let us know, what do you think for a starter home? How did we do? And we'll let you enjoy the rest of the video, and we will see you next week, guys. Bye!